Hi everyone. Today we're going to introduce the fashion e-commerce in the United States, and our team members are Abby, Tianqi, and Thandi. Our content will include three main parts. First, we'll introduce the current state of the market, including the market size of both global and United States, sales, leading brands and companies, and leading websites and apps. And then we'll also share with you the consumer profile and behaviors in the e-commerce market, as well as the trends that are driving growth currently in VR, DTC, and the metaverse.
Thanks, Thandi. So now let's begin with the current state. As you can see, the global fashion e-commerce market size is growing and is expected to reach 1.2 trillion by 2025, which is a very large number. So, what's the position of the US? From this chart, we can see that if we classify by region, the biggest impact on the fashion e-commerce industry is in Asia. The US market comes into second, so it's a significant player in the global market. From the US fashion e-retail revenue from 2018 to 2025, we can see the revenue is growing steadily, and the revenue in 2025 will be nearly three times that of 2018. But the epidemic makes it grow at a slower pace, because we can see from the chart that the growth rate starts to go downhill from 2020, and from 2023, with the epidemic leveling off and the growth rates holding steady, there will still be great opportunities for US fashion e-commerce in the future. From these two sets of data for 2019 and 2024, we can see that consumers are most interested in buying clothes, followed by shoes, and finally bags and jewelry. Also, the US apparel market has great potential in the future. So next, Thandi will introduce the leading brands and companies.
These are the top 10 fashion online stores in the United States in 2021, with Amazon leading the fashion e-commerce website market at over 5.5 million, followed by Macy's at 5.3 million, and closely by Walmart at also just over 5.3 million. And this is revenue in US dollars. The most Googled fashion brands in the United States in 2021 was Shein, which was the most searched for fashion retail brand in America, coming in at over 11.3 million. Old Navy came in at 9.48 million, almost 9.5 million, and then followed by JCPenney. And these are monthly searches in millions for these brands. The fastest growing fashion websites in 2021 were as follows: Adidas, Shein, Nordstrom, Fanatics, Gap, and H&M. Adidas was the fastest growing at 47%, Shein at 45%, and Nordstrom at 33.4%. And the fashion e-commerce apps that had the most downloads in 2021 were Shein, Nike, and Poshmark. Shein led at over 25 million app downloads, followed by Nike at 14.33 million, and Poshmark at almost 10.5 million downloads.
Next, we will look at the consumer profile and behaviors of US e-commerce fashion shoppers. The gender distribution of US e-commerce fashion consumers are 64.7% female and 35.3% male. This means 2/3 of the people shopping for fashion in the United States are women. The age distribution of US e-commerce fashion consumers is heavily weighted towards younger demographics. Nearly 50% of these consumers are under the age of 35. In looking at purchase behaviors, 80% of US e-commerce shoppers do research online before making a fashion purchase. There's a wide array of product categories purchased online in the United States. The category most purchased is apparel, with over 50% of consumers shopping for fashion online. In order to discover new fashion brands, consumers of all ages turn to social media. Of the various platforms, Facebook and YouTube are where consumers find most new brands. Consumer behaviors in shopping for fashion have changed as a result of the pandemic. Post-pandemic, more consumers will continue to shop for fashion online. Lastly, we will look at a few trends driving continued growth of e-commerce fashion in the United States. First, there is a demand for virtual reality apparel shopping. The younger the consumer, the higher the demand for VR shopping. Next, consumers like to shop from direct-to-consumer brands, which are brands that sell straight to customers through their own website without the use of a middleman. Gen Z buys clothing and accessories at the highest rate from direct-to-consumer brands. Finally, there's an increase in fashion brand collaborations happening in the metaverse. In the last half of 2021, brand collaborations saw a sharp increase. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed learning about fashion e-commerce in the United States.